Just tell yourself to become an actress. Act like you're confident and fake it till you make it, because no one except for you hears the voice in your head. Hey everybody, this video is how to appear more confident on stage. I want to thank Edie Huo of Toronto for submitting this video request, and it's actually quite simple. The way to appear more confident on stage is by not demonstrating any telltale signs of nerves. Whenever I judge a pageant, it becomes very clear who is nervous and who isn't based on a couple of factors. Telltale signs of nerves and stage anxiety are fidgeting and shakiness, unfocused eye contact, meaning eyes are all over the place, a shaky voice and a low volume voice, and body language that isn't open, presence, or intentional. All right, so if you are able to control for these 4 things, you will appear very confident, I promise you. So the actionable things to work on. You want to be steady in the way that you carry yourself on stage. You don't want any extraneous movements, certainly no fidgeting. You want to watch your hands. You don't want any stiffness in your fingers. You shouldn't have any like bouncing knees or quivering lips before you answer your question. You want to be as smooth as possible. Now you could be screaming on the inside, but on the outside you can't let it show. You need to be cool, calm, and collected. The second thing is your eye contact should really be on the judges. You don't want your eye contact darting all over the place. It can be very, very obvious when a contestant is overwhelmed because she is looking at too many things. She's looking at judges, then she's looking at the MC, then the stage manager, then her parents, then the photographer, and then the lights. You want to keep your eyes focused on the judges as much as possible, because every moment on stage that you're looking at a judge and that judge looks at you is a connection. You're essentially sending them laser beams. Give me a 10, give me a 10. And I love it whenever contestants look me in the eye, because it's that nonverbal connection and it's respect. I personally always really liked it. Now, the next thing is voice. I mentioned not having a quivering voice. You want to be as smooth as possible. The only way to practice this is truly to get exposure, interviewing, go sing karaoke, set up a mock interview panel for yourself, find opportunities to speak in front of strangers, give toasts at your friends' birthday parties, say prayers at church, whatever it takes to get you exercising those muscles of speaking spontaneously and extemporaneously is good for you. I made a previous video on how to overcome stage anxiety or performance anxiety and fears of nervousness and stage fright right here. I invite you to go take a look at that, because I include a lot of actionable tips that are very transferable for this video on how to appear more confident. Now, the last thing is body language. Body language is super key because you want to know exactly what you're doing out there, and you have to have body language that says, I am open, I am present, and I know what I am doing. One way to really have confident body language is by choreographing every little thing. I'm not just talking about how to pose in your gown. I'm talking about where your head is, where your eye contact is as well. I can't choreograph it for you because I don't know the dimensions of your stage. I don't know if you have a runway. I don't even know where your judges are sitting, but you know all those things, and choreograph your routine and your walking pattern. Find ways to practice, whether it's by moving furniture out of the way in your living room. Even better if you can book a studio with a mirror. You want to practice as much as possible so that every little thing has been determined in advance. You're not leaving anything to chance. For your evening gown pattern, make sure that you know how you're walking, where you were posing, and with body language, conviction comes down to knowing what you're doing. So if you know what you're doing, you're able to put your hand on your hip with intention, with conviction. Judges don't want someone who is closed, who is, moving extemporaneously or has some extra, shifting. That is a sign that she's just not well rehearsed or she's nervous. So you don't want your judges to mistake you not having practice enough for nerves, if that makes sense. Because people who aren't nervous, who don't practice enough, can still convey a sign that could be interpreted as nerves, just because they didn't decide if they were going to have your right hand up or their left hand up, if that makes sense. So it all comes down to preparation. A couple other things are you want to focus and really be in the moment. You have to think like an athlete. This is what athletes train throughout their entire lifetimes for. They are practicing and quieting all the other voices to focus on what they do best, which is falling back on what they've practiced. So if you practice everything that you're going to do on stage and you practice enough, your second nature will kick in so that if you are nervous, it doesn't matter. You're going to still execute with smoothness, with good body language, and with good eye contact. So I really can't express this enough. You want to practice as much as possible so that your focus can really come in and do its thing. Focus really pushes everything out and lets you fall back on what you've rehearsed, your muscle memory, so that it feels like you're just another day at the studio. So it feels like it's just another day at the karaoke bar, okay? So you just want to repeatedly expose yourself to doing these things so that when you are judged, you're not leaving much up to chance. You already know what you're doing. In addition to focusing immediately on what's in front of you, you also want to love how you look. This is highly underrated. You want to choose a gown that you love, a hairstyle that you love, jewelry that you love. So much of how confident I feel on stage boils down to how I feel in my body that day, how I feel about my hair, whether I feel like I'm photogenic. Whenever I feel like I'm shiny, for instance, I become a little less confident because my mind starts getting insecure in that way. So I'm human too. But one way to control against that is I'm going to have my powder so that I can handle that, and then my confidence can really come out. So you have to decide for yourself what that is. You need to be wearing whatever it is that makes you feel confident, not just what your pageant coach says looks great on you. It's more about you doing what you need to do and feeling how you need to feel to do your best. If all those pieces fall into place, natural confidence will start to ooze through, and you might just find yourself with that crown on your head at the end of the night. Well, thank you for spending your time with me. I hope this video was helpful in instilling confidence, that you can convey confidence at your pageant. In a nutshell, confidence is all about faking it till you make it and not giving up any telltale signs that you are nervous, all right? It doesn't matter how you feel on the inside, as long as you are not demonstrating any of those signs of nervousness, you're good. If you are acting confident, you are being perceived as confident, people will think you are confident, and having that knowledge should make you genuinely confident. See that positive feedback loop right there? Thank you for spending your time with me. If you have any other questions related to pageants or on-stage performance, please leave a comment. I would love to consider making a video for you. If you have the question, chances are hundreds of thousands of other girls have the same question. So this is the beauty of the internet. Just tell me what you think and I'll be happy to give my interpretation and my feedback. Thank you very much. I hope you take a look at some of my other videos right here. You can also subscribe right here. Bye.